All right, what is going on there, everyone? I just want to make this quick. Nothing too big. Nothing too drastic. Big, maybe. Drastic, not so much. Um, the big situation we're dealing with right now is Bernie Sanders. It just came across that Bernie Sanders actually experienced a heart attack. And not this little minor situation they were saying at first. Now, this is going to upend Bernie Sanders' whole campaign. This will most likely he may play it off for a little while, but this is going to drastically affect him. And we can see that through his own campaign, their movements that they're making, because not only did they suspend regular old campaign stops, they suspended campaign commercials and ads. Now, that's a big deal. You don't suspend ads for a temporary respite. It's just not something that happens, So obviously Bernie's situation, most of us already felt that it was probably more serious than suspected, but now they are confirming that it was a heart attack. Big problem. Another problem for the Democratic campaign is, of course, Biden. Biden's not working out either, because Biden, no matter what the media says and no matter what a lot of these people are saying, Biden, he did the quid pro quo with the Ukraine. He actually did that, and he admitted it on film. It's not a good look. And I'll say some of the things that I've seen from the Trump administration, don't think so. And regardless of whether I think so or not, I doubt the Republican-held Senate is going to convict on that regardless, because it was a pretty innocuous conversation. I mean, sure, if you're trying to read in between the lines and whatnot, you might see that, hey, he probably shouldn't have said that. And yeah, I'll agree with that. He probably shouldn't have said a couple of the things they said. He was mentioned, not a good word to even say if you're a president, apparently. And apparently, if you were once a vice president and did something screwed up and run for president, well, no one can point that out, because they'll say, oh, you're trying to do something with the election meddling, this, that, and the other. It's like, hold on, what I believe Trump is trying to say is, hey, this doesn't necessarily matter that this guy's running for president right now, because look at what he did. I think the way we set everything up is a little screwed up, because yes, Biden clearly, admittingly, did something wrong. The fact that he's running for president now means you're not allowed to call him out on that because it's election meddling. That's not right, is it? I'd love to hear your comments on that, because I truly don't think that's right. If you did something wrong in the past, you should be called out. I don't care if it's an election year. A lot of people didn't seem to have a problem in 2016 when President Trump, before he was President Trump, he did a lot of screwed up shit. Excuse my language. And they called him out on that. Wouldn't that be election meddling? Comparing their standards doesn't make sense. Another big problem is now the Democrats' front runner, seems to be Elizabeth Warren. Need I say more? I mean, Elizabeth Warren, a woman who lied for over 50 years about her heritage to get ahead. I mean, come on. This is your candidate? A woman that Wall Street is fully against because of her nonsensical policy positions. I don't know. I just don't. Come on. Really? But what I do see, what I see right now that is kind of frightening. I am obviously a Republican, and I love America the way it is for the most part. Yeah, there are things we should work on, and we've been constantly working on things for a long time now. We've been getting better. I don't even know where it's at. Oh, it's over there. My Make America Great Again hat. This one says "Keep America Great," but I finally got my red "Make America Great Again" hat. Yeah, we are making it great again, because at one point things were working out for everybody, and then it went sour. Then it went sour once again. I'm not going to rehash all that because, yeah, it's been decades. But America is the greatest place. Donald Trump hasn't done anything to actually hinder that. Let's fully understand that and fact check me, do whatever you want. But Donald Trump hasn't done anything to actually hurt that situation. Okay? He's really made things better for everybody. See, Donald Trump's, the media was saying it earlier. They were saying not the media, Fox News had some conservatives on, because Fox News is not 100% conservative anymore, pretty much. They have a lot of left-wing people on there. But they said it themselves that he's not really a partisan. Since he's become president under the Republican name, he has become a slightly more partisan. Like, the conservatives put him up there, so he has to kind of lean conservative now. Because I think he would have ran as a Democrat also. Donald Trump, whether most Democrats like to admit it or not, he was a Democrat. Pretty much up until the 2016 election. And I think the only reason he didn't run as a Democrat is they wouldn't allow it. They were like, no, they wanted Hillary to run. We saw Bernie Sanders get screwed. He got screwed out of the election in 2016. And, that's fine too, because I don't want someone who has such a favorability of communism running our country. It's it's really a bad idea. I tell you what, people, we are in the craziest times I've ever seen. The craziest times we've all ever seen, guaranteed. I don't care what your age is. This is insane. This is insane. But I always lose track. I can't help it. My mind's going 1,000 miles per hour. So, but what I think we're gonna see out of the Democratic side is probably gonna be Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg. Now, Buttigieg, what I think is going to end up, this is just my opinion, but what I think from what I've seen is going to end up happening is Kamala Harris, she's a liar, this, that, and the other. She has a terrible record as a prosecutor. Tulsi Gabbard destroyed her in that debate. I don't think a lot of people are behind her. I don't see it. A lot of people don't see it. Democrats don't see it. But the two people, and I've been warning about Buttigieg, because for the most part, he's fairly quiet. Sometimes he says some completely ridiculous things. And I've seen that out of Tulsi Gabbard. I've seen that out of all the left-leaning people. And hell, to be honest, I've seen some pretty silly things said by Trump for years now. But you know what? I like the policies. I like the way he's more America first. I do like that. There's some things that I'm not all in for, I'm not some zealot. No, I'm a Republican. I'm a kind of a constitutionalist. But I like what I see out of Trump. That's just my personal opinion. But I keep divulging, I'm sorry. But Elizabeth Warren, Buttigieg as a vice president is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Elizabeth Warren as the front runner because it will pander to the left because she is a woman. The problem is the big problem's been since the initial situation of the Democrats with what was it, like 24 candidates, is that they're mainly white. A lot of white people. I know that shouldn't really even be an issue. Who cares who's running? Anybody literally can run. Doesn't matter your color, doesn't matter your race, doesn't matter your religion, creed, doesn't matter. If you're an American citizen, go ahead and run. You have that right. But the Democrats for years have been also, I hate saying Democrats. We are in such a weird era where I can't really say Democrats as a whole, because you do have your honest to goodness, moderate centrist Democrats. And all we generally hear about, if you're listening to mainly right-wing news, you're going to hear about the progressives. You're not going to hear about, you will, but to a very lesser extent, you're going to hear about the liberals and the moderates and whatnot, but mainly right wing. This is why you need to look at everything. You need to look at everything. You need to get a good perspective of everything, because you're not going to hear about everything on any site. It's just not going to happen. Everything's so partisan. We are in such a divided nation right now, and it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. We're supposed to be one America. We are and have been the best country in the world for a long time. I've traveled. I know this. I'm not saying anybody watching hasn't traveled, but if you have traveled, you realize certain things like, hey, that's kind of silly. Like when I went to Europe, you don't get free anything. Nothing's free. No free refills. Everything you have to pay for, which is fine. I'm not even trying to say it's not good. But I'm just saying, there are a lot of things that make America great. Let's keep that going on, though. And the way I see it from these, I wish I could say there were more moderates running for president on the Democrat side. It would make me feel better. It would make me feel better. It would probably make a lot of people feel better. Just see, even I don't like talking bad about Trump, because I really do like what Trump has done. But I will say, I wish we had a more likable, more, just likable. Trump is divisive, divisive. And I get that. I understand that. It's also not that big of a deal to me. I just see him as someone who came around during a time someone like him needed to be around. Things were going to go in a crazy direction, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though. Look at what we've seen since Trump's been elected. Now, others can argue that these things are happening because Trump got elected. Okay. That's a silly way to be upset about who got elected, to try to push all these crazy policies, whether you're a politician or whether you're just an activist. I can understand you don't like Trump, but you got to remember, over 63 to 65 million people did vote for Trump. Let's not separate our country for political reasons. Kind of silly. It's kind of silly. I tell you what, this has gone longer than I wanted it to go, and I'm talking about things I didn't even plan on talking about. So back to the original situation. Democrats are looking at Bernie Sanders being out due to health reasons. If he had any good doctor, they would be telling him, you need to chill out. You're an old man. Calm down. You probably need to let this campaign go. Biden's out because of his health, his gaffes, and now the Ukraine controversy, which really is about Biden and not Trump. So I think we're looking at what we're going to end up seeing is an Elizabeth Warren for president, Buttigieg for vice president. I don't even like saying it. It doesn't even want to come out of my mouth. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at the Democrats doing, because I don't think they're going to make the mistake of no matter how low Warren gets, I don't think they're going to make the mistake of putting a different guy in front of her. With Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, they were getting away with it because they were already ahead. I don't think there's going to be any way for them to put any man in front of her for any reason, because it's going to look bad to their base. It's a weird situation we're in. Everything that we're living through right now is the strangest thing I've ever seen. It's actually depressing a lot of independent people, like independent journalists, independent commentators, and all that. People are upset. They don't know what to talk about because we always see the same thing all the time. I find it kind of humorous. Washington is a clown show. It's been that way for a long time, but we're seeing it now because people can't hold their opinions. They treat their opinions like it's fact, so they have to spew them out. So we get to see everyone's true colors. It's kind of a funny time we're living through. We just got to make sure those crazies crazies from either end. It doesn't matter. We just got to make sure they don't end up pushing through and becoming more prominent. Love to hear your comments as always. I'm sorry I wrap up every way this way. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. I will catch you on the flip side. Have a wonderful weekend.